part 2, giving you an update today on the backyard on the edging. So let me give you a quick update on what's happened since part 1. So if you recall, in part 1, the contractor had came and started digging out all of the edging around between the mulch or rock and our actual grass to put in stone paving. So, and this will be an ongoing project for a few weeks because he is unable, our contractor's unable to come every day. So being patient and working with his schedule, but he was able to start putting in some stones the last day he was here, and won't be back now until next week. But you know that feeling of like, am I gonna like this? Like, did I pick out the right stone? Because it's really hard to know when you're just looking at 2 or 3 stones, like, how is this gonna look in the yard? Well, look how it turned out so far. So far, I am loving it. Okay, so he started out here back by the garage and put in a little area here. And now this area is not finished, because we're going to put in some new pavers over here where the grill is. So that'll be later on. Right now we're focusing just on the actual edging. But look what he's done so far. I am just loving it. I think it turned out really well. And I did mention in the part 1 that my concern was maintenance on these. I had looked at some that were the edges were pretty, but they were very tumbled and jagged, and I was afraid they wouldn't butt up against each other and grass would grow in between. Now these, as you can see, do have, I mean, they're pretty close. Not as close when you go around the edge, but he is putting in a couple layers under the dirt, so I'm hoping that'll cut down on the weeds. And then I started getting plants. Not sure yet if I'm going to keep what I'm picking out there or if I'll put the bobo hydrangeas somewhere else, the proven winners. I've not decided if I would prefer something taller in this area here or if I want to keep them low. The bobos are about 2.5 to 3 feet tall and wide, so that might be a good, and of course those aren't placed. I would probably put them back a little bit farther, but I'm not sure if I want those or something else. I've been noticing though, I went to the garden center yesterday and stuff is already starting to be picked over, so my selection wasn't as big as what I would have liked it to been. And then over here, same thing. Not sure I'm going to put the bobos there or if I'll use something else, but went ahead and picked them up. And if not, I'll put them somewhere else in the landscape. But this is where it ends. And so far, like I mentioned, really liking it. And we'll have to see how it goes. Him and I are debating as far as on the far side on how much more I want it to come out. I'm thinking it's still, I told him when we looked at it the other day, I think I want it to come out farther than what it is. I think it's still too close. So at least in some areas. So we're gonna talk about that when he comes back next week, maybe pulling this out farther here and a couple other places I've seen that I think I want it farther out, because my goal is once this is done, when the plants grow in, I want there to be a distinct line between the yard and the mulch. I don't want plants hanging over the sides of the edging where they're going to be in the way of mowing the grass. And as you can see, this far salvia here, it's right there on the edge, where when that gets bigger, it would flop into the grass and I would be back where I am now, where there's not that distinct line of it's kind of creeping in. So either I move the plants or I have this come out some more. So we'll see how we end up, I'm gonna, over the next couple days, come out here with the rope that I showed you that the contractor left to use as like a guide to put down in the grass to get some ideas, to look at lines and stuff as far as how I want the edge to look. So I'll come out and mess with it and see what I think. And I also have to keep in mind though the circle. We are going to edge the circle too, and that was one of his comments of, since we are going to do that, we've got to be careful in the back how far we pull it out, because we do want some grass to go in between the two. So that was just a quick update on what's going on right now in the backyard. And I will give you a part 3 once he gets more work done next week. But like I mentioned, so far, loving it, thinking it looks it's just gorgeous, and I'm happy with my stone selection, which, like I mentioned, is always like, oh man, did I pick out the right one, or am I not gonna like it once it's in? And my contractor did mention to me that he had a client that ordered stone and got all the stone to the building site for him to do the work, and she looked at it and said, I don't like that, I want something else. And needless to say, he was not a happy camper when she said that. But it is really hard to pick, so I'm thrilled that I actually like how it is looking.